Well, I I'd gotten so suspicious of people that I felt it was like I was getting messages off the TV set to phone people. I'd just go over to the payphone and phone randomly, and when I was working as a security guard, I thought I was working in an auxiliary hospital. So when I was a patient in the Holy Cross, I thought I was a security guard there, even though I wasn't in uniform. But I just carried on as if I was checking the fire equipment.
I didn't suspect anything. But one day I received a phone call from Cheryl, my wife, and she said, I was speaking with Liv, and we went to a movie, and after I asked him what's wrong, and he told me this. And the whole thing was there. There was plots. He believed people were following him. There were dead bodies involved, hallucinations. It was wild. She had my brother Nick call me up that night to tell me more. And it was a terrible feeling. It was terrible because I thought, oh no, it's happening all over again. It's, another brother. And for me, all I could think was, this happens, and this happens, and this happens. He ends up dead.
With me, it was sort of like a premonition. You'd hear that the world was out to destroy me. Was the feeling of it. There was a big conspiracy, and my only purpose in life was to be destroyed, really. The only suicide type thing was I tried to hang myself with a jacket from a tree in the park. I just stormed out of the house. I just couldn't stand it there, and it wasn't a very good attempt. I just thought my life was over, so I went down to Edworthy Park and just sat beside the river when I couldn't hang myself. So till I got over the feelings, and then I went back home.
One day I found him in the living room, and he was weeping. And I said, what's the matter? He says, I can't take it. I can't take it anymore. A little while ago, I tried to kill myself. It didn't work. I messed up. I said, okay, well, let's go. Let's go to the hospital. So we got in the car and we went. Like he'd been thinking for a while about it, but at that moment we just said, it's way too dangerous.
It was devastating. I was feeling that you go through the same minefield again. The second time around, you have some idea what to expect. It isn't all new and totally unknown, but it's still terrifying. You go back in your mind. Why? What brought it on? What is the underlying cause? And again, the feeling, why does it have to happen to your child? I'd much rather have it myself.
When someone close to you has a breakdown, you have to do something. I read and researched. That's when I first found out what schizophrenia was. I had no idea that schizophrenia was a brain disease. No idea that there was a genetic factor. I didn't know that schizophrenia tends to strike people in their late teens and early 20s, that 1 in 100 North Americans have it, that 1 in 10 commit suicide. My biggest surprise came at how quickly Liv responded to the drugs. A few days after he received his medication, he stopped hearing things, stopped seeing things, became less frightened. Liv's relapsed 3 times, and that's a terrible feeling, especially the first time. Because you really believe in your heart that once he leaves the hospital, he's cured. Then he goes back, and you begin to think there is no getting better. Liv's relapses were a result of his going off the medication, and I can understand it. I think when he started to feel better, he decided he didn't need the pills anymore and tossed them away.
I think when I went off my medication about second time, I came to the conclusion that I needed it anyway, so you come to the conclusion you're maybe something wrong with you, you know?
Hi. It's nice out.
Yeah.
You don't get that many days to sit out. Early in the morning, we have a bird sitting over there in that tree.
Oh, yeah. What is it, a robin?
I think so. But it certainly is persistent.
To see a young person who has the whole life ahead so totally ripped from them, I think that is the hardest. And it's such a hard struggle to come back to some kind of normalcy.
But I think they're breaking up, so I don't know.
She sounds such a very sad person. Is she only at the
No, she's over at
EBC?
EP. She's in placement now,
I
so
see.
they'll be getting her a job, I suppose.
Yeah.
The hardest part is accepting that I have to take worse jobs than what I had beforehand, and I would have been had a more stable kind of life if I'd stayed with the jobs that I had, and I maybe could have been married and things like that.
Sometimes I feel sad about Liv because I know he had all these dreams and ambitions before that probably aren't going to happen now. And in Liv's worst moments, I think all he can see is this life of diminished potential. That doesn't mean there can't be other dreams, and I think he's coped incredibly well under the circumstances. When Ben was ill, we were a little embarrassed about the subject of schizophrenia. We didn't know how to talk about it, so I think that Ben was left alone.
So how are you feeling these days? Well, I had a little bit of flu, I think.
I guess the thing that we try to do now is to talk to Liv. The last thing I want to do is to let Liv wander around with whatever feelings he may have and no one to talk to about it.
For some reason, honestly believes that stuff about chicken soup. So was the chicken soup any good?
You become a survivor, and you learn that to have to take one day at a time. And by, you learn to laugh again. And I think that is the first step that you make at self-recovery.
I had a delusion that I was a DMO, a deferred military officer, or a deferred Mountie.
Deferred Mountie?
Yes.
Oh.
It depended. And one voice would tell me that things were good and that it was a good thing and it was an honor. And the other one would tell me, no, it just means it's means you're a loser, you know. And it means they're going to make your life miserable. So
You don't mean today.
well,
You're certainly not talking about today. You're not talking about the little voices making
No.
you a loser now.
no,
You're a big success.
I'm not a big success, but
Oh, yeah. I mean, you
I honestly believe now
you get a job.
that looking at Liv every day is a success story. Every day is a triumph.
yeah, well, success.
Because I lost one brother, yeah. I lost one brother to an illness.
I'm not doing like
And I haven't this time. And what's more is he's licking it He's been back in the hospital 3 times. And if you're not patient, you think, oh no, he's back in, the illness has got him. But the thing is, in the long run, here he is, you know, he's alive. He's working towards goals. He and I talk, and he's a good human being.
Nothing is the same once someone close to you gets schizophrenia. You weigh everything that is against everything that was. I still think of Ben and miss him, and even now don't understand why he's gone. But I weigh that against the fact that Liv is still here, and how much I enjoy his company. Sometimes I wonder if my daughter Chandra will get schizophrenia. Sometimes I wonder if I will. You can't worry about it, really, but it hangs at the back of your mind all the same. If Chandra did get it, I don't know what I'd do. Get her treatment, I suppose. Try to help her cope. And every day I'd pray for a cure.